The bounty hunters. Pukey answers the call with a grin. The final part is in place. If anyone else is pulling strings, this is the part where they threaten or brag. Everyone is hearing this one, but only he and the caller are going to be heard. "Hello?" he asks, putting the phone on speaker so he has at least one arm available. "You can all stop now." "The issue is resolved," Minisi says over the line. He pumps a fist as he mentally congratulates himself for guessing right. "Look, I'm not going to bullshit you. If Mr. Hero of Deck 7, as your friends are spinning things, gets caught limping through the station chasing leads, the maybe riot will be a definite riot. Then maybe an explanation of what's going on. There's nonsense like this so regularly around the station that you can set your calendar by it. Your admiral got in contact with me in the middle of one, and the men arrived just after it was quelled. An idiot with more money than sense decided she wanted authentic Crimson Hewer armor, and when she couldn't buy it, called them out on insult and ordered an extremely powerful suit of power armor to fight them in the arena. The collateral actually dented the outer wall of the station from the inside, and the Crimson Hewers not only killed her, but then fought one another for the scraps of the armor for personal use. Pieces were stolen as they fought, and that led to further shenanigans, and in the end 50 people were dead, and 10 times that number needed medical treatment, all because of one idiot. She was as she appeared to be. Agenda. Cottonback was a spiteful little idiot who couldn't build a relationship with her husband, and then was pushed to the side when more gracious, gentle, and compassionate women were introduced. She was an idiot drunk before Mother Mailer got involved and ensured that her husband had enough women to take care of him, and she was an idiot drunk to her death. She heard of the twin-shot assassins, as most do, and tried to be a big shot in a drunken stupor. Years of self-abuse, neglect, and the sudden spike as well as a huge amount of alcohol in her system gave her a minor heart attack when she fired the shots with the piece of shit guns and zapped herself and missed. The second shock of her target dying anyways finished her off. "For the love of God," Pukey groans. "Is there proof?" "The body's going to be held for another 10 hours. I'll send you the coordinates so you can take a sniff and confirm," Minisi says, and Pukey lets out a humming noise in his throat. "What now?" "Something's not adding up. The pieces fit, but there's something still missing." "There's too much satisfaction in your voice." "You won something. Something important," Pukey says, and there's a pause. Then Minisi starts laughing. "I'm kilometers away. How can you sense my emotions?" "Oh, you humans are fascinating. Apex category life forms for sure." Minisi laughs out loud. "It was in your tone." "What's going on?" "Oh, nothing overt at any rate. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and they'll be really useful in the near future." "How? In what way?" "Simple. I'm looking to retire. Octaron's spin, however, has to stay in the family, and while I've got a few heirs already considered, they will need a loyal command crew. Just as I was starting to consider how to train them up, I had 25 men from a new species offered to me. How could I not take advantage of my good fortune?" "You're training the men to be your replacement command staff. I'm testing them. If they fail, then I send the corpse back to the Dauntless and get a fresh recruit. Those that succeed, those that thrive, it's a breadbasket. We get the sweetest treats from simply owning the station that my entire family line wants for nothing. We're disgustingly rich and only one girl has to put any work in. Not that the work is bad, mind you. There's a lot of fun to be had in being the pirate queen of Octaron Spin, but I've been here so long even more entertaining days like today are getting monotonous. My breakfast held more of my attention." "Really?" "Oh, yes, I still can manage a few years before sheer apathy overtakes me about this place. By then, the boys should be effectively able to keep the station completely under control. Heck, little Daniel is already one of the major players in Sector 4. Not in control of it, but recognizable and known to be dangerous," Minisi says, and Pukey can hear a tinge of pride in there. "Something you, of course, had nothing to do with. Clever. I know he's listening in, by the way. Listening in with one of his wives. Hey, girlie, you better be thankful I was the one that purposely got him lost the night you met him." I was taking his measure. Man or not, he had the damn tits to try seducing me. Me! Little fucker wanted to be the power behind the throne. My first instinct was to send him out an airlock, but the more I thought about it, the funnier it got. I mean, really. The shameless little shit took a shot at the prize, then acted like it was nothing when he missed. I had to see if it was empty bravado or something else. Something stronger. How much of our interactions are tests? All of them. This one, too. You humans are a new thing in the galaxy, so I'm seeing how it all clicks. I've been liking it so far. You've been keeping things interesting. I expected Daniel to run from his 200 wives. Instead, he's forging them into one of the most internally loyal hives I've ever seen. So yes, you all did good. The problem is solved. Go to sleep, you torn-up sack of meat, before some stupid gravid decides that the fact there's a hurt man gives her cause to crusade. I'll wait till the report gets back from the boys I send to the coroner. The hat dong, get moving, Pukey replies, and Manisi giggles. You humans, always more than is reasonable. I'll meet them both myself. Speed things up so you little lunatics can relax already. Bye-bye, she says and disconnects. A few taps and Pukey opens the call to anyone. That conniving bitch! Hoagie's voice suddenly roars out, and there's a huge swell of laughter in response, in addition to several women directly next to him laughing hysterically. More than somewhat. I understand her being cross with my flirting with her, but throwing me into deck 4 is a bit much. But you seem so happy with your wives, Mr. T taunts him. Making the best of your situation doesn't mean you don't resent being forced into it, Hoagie growls. Hoagie, she's testing you. How much trouble have the others guys got up to? They've been poking around a lot, but I've been one of the most blatant. Mostly because when I got married to the whole hive, I figured I only had violence to fear and I would welcome it at that point. Yeah, I suggest you let it go, soldier. If there is any to be had, then you'll be one of the men pioneering it through raw experience. It's much like my men and myself when it comes to running a bounty hunting outfit. Right. You're right. Speaking of bounty hunting, I've sent out some feelers to see if you guys could get compensated for what's going on. I'll keep pushing, but it looks like I can get a refurbishment for a lot of your ship's internal components if you want it. There are a lot of women that liked Mother Mailer, and a shift of work is something they consider a fair trade for her killer to be smoked out and reduced to a corpse. That's awesome. We're only using a small piece of this ship. Too much of it is just baked with the pain and misery those slave-dealing wretches dealt in this place. We just don't have the manpower to clean all of it at any decent pace. Well, I'm scaring up a lot of woman power to make the difference, and yeah, I am calm, I just needed to shout. That was a bitch of a revelation. I can imagine, although I'd like to know why she's so blasé about everything. I understand getting bored of it, but there has to be more. No matter what she wins, Hoagie answers. Excuse me? The systems on this station, the division of the sections, the separations of goods, services, and locations, it's all more than just the districts of a city. She gets a small cut every time money changes hands. Not much. Negligible on the individual trades, in fact, but it adds up fast. And with her spreading everything out to get anything made, she gets paid time after time after time. A rapid shift causes more equipment and supplies to be bought, sold, used, replaced, and so on. No matter the outcome, unless someone fights against her directly, she's in the winner's circle, and fighting against her directly is more or less suicide. If she's got things that well locked down and you know it, why did you hire our former sisters to watch things? Nuit, or perhaps Swar, asks. I thought her lack of concern was due to her own stable position and the money that would be coming in. I was worried about loss of life and things potentially spilling into Section 4 where my wives, many of which are testing as pregnant, live. Oh shit, congratulations, Mr. T remarks. I am the Swarm King. Soon there shall be heirs to the throne. Hoagie deadpans, there's a sound of protest, and he lets out a laugh. Missed! Clearly one of his wives just took a swing at him. So, have we learned anything today? Pirate queens rule their kingdoms with more than just a quick trigger finger? Tang asks. If I'm going to recon a situation, I need someone I have absolute trust in if I don't go myself? Hoagie asks. Cybernetic implants that let you project your thoughts into digital format are a great deal of fun, Bike sends, or perhaps says. It's hard to tell which means he's low-key fucking with everyone. Floric are really fucking weird? Mr. T asks. A Pook battle princesses die really fucking hard? J3 asks. You know what? Fuck it. Clearly we haven't learned a damn thing. The hat, Dong, step on the gas so I can pass out in peace. We're going! Keep your pants on, Dong protests. Actually, I'm going to have to ask that you take them off. Cindy says. There's a raise of jeers. We need to make sure we didn't get a hidden injury and that you're not bleeding out. That sobering realization cuts back on the taunts and the call is quickly ended. This leaves Pukey to relax and let Cindy fuss over him and try to work out how to make him a better cybernetic arm. The discussion is cut off by a quick message from the Hat and Dong. It's legit. We even gave ourselves a crash course in Rabbi's biology. Heart attack and long-time drinker. Everything's wrapped up. That's a relief, Pukey says before scooching into a more comfortable position and letting himself pass out. Seconds later, Cindy tugs the blankets over him and smiles. My silly brave man. You sleep tight. I've got a cybersnake woman to talk to. Rack and roll shadows of Centris. Good afternoon, ladies. I am Sir Philip Masterson. You may call me Philip or Mr. Masterson. Might I ask what two lovely young ladies such as yourselves doing here? Sir Philip asks genially. Misty Jadeblade and Shireen of the Hexaform clan were known to him. Their intentions were also known to him, but half the steps of good manners is not bringing things up, and more than half of spying is simply good manners with more of a point to them. We're looking for our husband, Reggie? We're worried he's working too hard and possibly hurting himself. And you both think that a random old man wandering around in the ship will know exactly where he is at this very moment? Sir Philip teases gently. Well, no, I was hoping more that you could direct us to someone who does. I see. Well, that would be me. This way, please. He's doing minor repair work in Axiom Laboratory 14. But you just said that you didn't... I mean you. Shireen stammers out with her multiples bodies falling out of sync in her confusion. Oh, you are a deviant old man, aren't you? Misty asks around a titter that she covers with a blade arm. Oh my yes! It's one of the greatest joys when you've reached your golden years. I've seen many of these young men as surrogate sons in a sense. The Nerd Squad in particular, of which a member of them is a dear friend to your Reginald, Sir Philip says before gesturing for both to follow him. I see, so what's he doing now? I can't say what's happening at this very moment, but he was doing a basic sweep for wear and tear. The laboratories generally have a great deal of maintenance needed, second only to the weapon ranges and the production facilities, Sir Philip says, and both women happily follow. Now it's a bit of a distance, so if you could please contain your excitement, we should be there shortly enough. The walk is short as both women stay fairly quiet and look around curiously, clearly casing the place out to understand exactly what's where and if there's something dangerous. Of course, this sort of thing was bound to happen sooner or later. The unusual amount of stamina humans have and highly different work hours meant that there were bound to be misunderstandings. Sir? A patrolling soldier asks. It's none other than Koa, and Sir Philip smiles. Excellent timing. If you could escort these young ladies to Axiom Laboratory number 14, please. Yes, sir, Koa says with a salute. Thank you, young man. Now if you'll excuse me. There are some chores that need doing, Sir Philip says before walking off smartly. This way, please, Koa says before leaning to the side. The sound of Sir Philip's footsteps had cut off far too quickly, and he's just gone. Teleporting fucker. What was that? Misty asks. Koa had spoken too softly to be properly heard. Nothing. Follow me, please, Koa says, turning on his heel and beginning to march away. So you're here for Reggie, I assume? Yes, we are. We're worried that he might be pushed or pushing himself too hard. Our workday ended 2 hours ago. We've had time to recover, but he's not home yet. I see. Well, I'm afraid he's still got another 2 hours on his shift, if not more, if something big comes up. Really? But that's a third of his day. We're used to 40-hour work weeks, Koa says with a grin. But that's absurd. It's so much time wasted to get things done. Just switch out the shift so that you can fill things in and there aren't enough humans. Shireen protests before trailing off. What are you going on about? Koa asks. Your kind works so long because there are not enough people to do all the work, Shireen says with one head clearly thinking hard and the others musing over it as if she wasn't just one person with 6 bodies, but 6 people debating among themselves. What? Koa demands. Wait, no, that's not right at all. That doesn't work. Sorry, forget I said anything, Shireen says, and Koa shrugs. I'm not sure what you said to begin with. Anyways, we're almost there, he says before turning a corner. The rooms have human numbers on them, and thankfully both Shireen and Misty can recognize them, having been given a quick crash course in things. Anyways, this is the lab. Thankfully you two are recognizable on sight, so... Koa begins to explain as he opens the door before stopping as he bears witness to the madness within. Amadi is pinning a man against the wall with a glowing hot brand like a burning spear and cussing the man out. Reggie is hanging out of the wall and grabbing the occasional tool off his belt as he resolutely ignores the madness less than 10 feet away. The fuck? Oh, hey, Koa girls. Girls? Reggie notes before turning back to his work, then physically and audibly backtracking and nearly falling out of the wall in surprise. What are you doing here? What is going on? Misty demands as Amadi and the other man seem frozen and unable to move. The man being pushed against the wall by the brand says, "Hello, ladies. Meet Jericho Stetson, our volunteer for Axiom branding experimentation, and we've run into an interesting hitch," Amadi says after a moment. A hitch? How the hell does a scene out of a grindhouse flick constitute a hitch? Koa demands. Because we're trying to find a way around a mistake we made and it's just not working out? Amadi asks more than says, and Koa groans into his hand. All right, Illusion Boy, knock off the madness. Engineer, get out of the wall and greet your damn wives, and you, Lab Rat, get a shirt on. The brand is yanked away, and the man actually staggers away from the wall to throw on a jacket even as Reggie ducks into the repair hallway and then climbs down to exit it properly. Koa stomps into the room and gives his most withering glare to Amadi and Jericho as Misty and Shireen slip into the room behind him. Okay, what's going on? Koa demands as all three men stand in front of him. The basic Undaunted Axiom brand includes thermal protection. This means that plasma and lasers are jokes to branded soldiers, but we've run into the issue of it being unable to modify these brands or apply new ones, as the thermal protection prevents branding with either extreme heat or cold. We were considering using an acidic compounds or electrical effects, but I'm not on that team. We're trying to find out if there's a certain axiom frequency that could allow a modification to the brand on a thermal spectrum. So far, the answer is a resounding no, but there are still a lot of frequencies to go through. Amadi explains, and it's almost reasonable sounding. And you pinned him against the wall, why? Koa demands. He wouldn't stop fidgeting, Amadi answers. It tickled, Jericho defends himself. A branding iron to the small of your back tickled, Koa says before letting out a huge huff of air. Is something wrong, Trooper Jackson? Sir Philip asks, and everyone turns to see Sir Philip in the doorway. No, nothing's wrong. Did you know they were testing the Axiom brands today? I did, young man, the proper old gentleman says with a smile. Did you know they were testing in this manner? Koa asks for clarification. Did I know they were testing in this manner? That is an excellent question. Sir Philip does not answer and therefore confirms it. Koa scrunches his eyes close in frustration as he takes a deep breath. By the time he opens them again, not only is Sir Philip gone, but a small cart with both a pot of tea and a jog of coffee with numerous mugs is beside the door. The tea and biscuits are safe for non-human consumption. The coffee is black, and there is sugar and cream. The leftmost Shireen reads off a little card leaning against the pot. The man uses no axiom but can still bend the universe around his pinky finger. Amadi grumps as he sets down the brand. He then quickly jots down some notes and heads for the cart. Who wants what? I need a coffee, so I may as well serve while I'm at it. Black for me, Reggie says, cracking his neck. There are a lot more little things up there that need fixing before they become a real problem, mostly in the wires and the occasional fuse. I might need to put in overtime. What? No. We're here to make sure they're not taking advantage of you, Misty protests, buzzing up to Reggie to embrace him as Jericho asks for a double sugar and cream. Is this kind of thing normal? Shireen Whisper asks Koa, who nods. Oh yeah, he's fine. It's just a lot of guys hate leaving things half done, and Reggie's one of them, Koa answers. I'm not being taken advantage of. I get paid a lot to do this, and even more when I put in overtime. A skilled mechanic and electrician is of enormous value, Reggie says before mussing up his hair a little. Although we could stand to get some people in there with rags more often, we're collecting dust. You've worked 6 hours already. That's a huge shift, as is to run around this giant ship fixing every little thing you find. Well, that's just it, isn't it? They're little things. Not a big problem and easy to solve. I could have slept through half of today's work shift. Hey, thanks, Am, Reggie counters before being distracted by the mug of coffee offered to him. It's not an easy work shift if you have to take stimulants partway through, Misty protests. Sure it is. Coffee is more like basic fuel. The real stimulants are much, much stronger, Reggie says with a grin. You should see what a medical-grade dose of caffeine can do to a man. Scary stuff, Amadi says, passing Jericho his coffee as Koa raids the trolley for his own fix, mostly to hide that he takes his sweet and milky. Oh yeah, you haven't seen a man move until a sprinter shotguns a 6-pack of the hard stuff and proceed to violate the space-time continuum, Koa says as he chuckles at the memory. God, my cousin's a fucking idiot. Is that the same one that soaked a shirt in kerosene and then literally played with fire? Reggie asks. Called him Smokey for a month, Koa answers, and there's snorts of amusement. Misty, It's clear he's not bothered. I get it. It's strange. But we're all different races here. Is him working 8 hours straight different from me pulling overtime and going through a shuffling rest so that there's always 2 of me working and 4 of me sleeping to recover? Well, no, darling, but you're a lidris. You're many girls in one, and your central body is so powerful that it can keep going and going. And he's a human. He's one man so tough that 6 hours of work is considered easy, so enduring that high-grade stimulants are considered normal food. What's to say that this hasn't been an easy day? What does taking advantage of a human even look like? Generally, taking advantage involves very intensive work that is not properly compensated if the pay doesn't match the hassle. That's when a human's being taken advantage of. Work-wise, at least, Reggie says. Until they miss a payday or 3, then I'm not being taken advantage of. A payday or 3? Accidents happen. Once or twice is easily put up to random chance. 3 times is when you can generally assume something odd is going on and needs investigation, Reggie remarks as he takes a sip of the coffee and winces, still burning hot. How did that old spider pull this off? It's best not to assume anything if Sir Philip is around. There's always another 2 or 3 ways in or out of a room that only he knows. There's always one more bug or wiretap you haven't found. One more trick he's got on you, Amadi says as he offers the many aspects of Shireen cups of tea and biscuits. By the way, would you like some Misty? Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you. I worry. When I first saw you, you looked so worn down and hurt and needing help. First impressions can be hard to shake, Misty says, and Reggie chuckles. It took 2 cases of cancer and a lot of wear and tear to bring me to that. It's going to take even more to reduce me to that again. You can stop worrying. You're my husband. That's not going to happen, she says, and Reggie quickly shifts from mildly surprised to somewhat confused, then is unable to stop a smile from spreading across his face.